I grew up in Southern California in the San Gabriel Valley. My parents moved to, I believe it was Monrovia when I was like 1. We lived there for a very short time, and then we moved to like a tract house neighborhood in Covina, where I lived, my whole childhood. And that's where my first makeup lab was, in my bedroom, and all that kind of stuff. And I lived there till I was in my early 20s and started my film career, really. Originally, when I was a little kid, I kept thinking I wanted to be a doctor, and I would talk to my parents about that, how I wanted to be a doctor. I was very focused and very fascinated by that, and anytime I went to the doctor's office, I wanted to go. But actually, it wasn't until I was about 10 years old I realized that I really didn't want to be a doctor. I wanted to be Dr. Frankenstein. I wanted to be the guy who made the monsters, and in my little kid brain, it was a doctor. And you can imagine, my parents were very proud of the fact that, they were very, middle class working people, and they, my father didn't finish high school, he had to get a job to, keep, money coming in and stuff, and I thought, kid's going to be a professional and all that. So the day, I vividly remember going to my mother and saying, how I always talk about wanting to be a doctor. Well, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. I want to be the guy who makes the monsters for the movies. And she didn't freak out, and they were very supportive. And you go, well, it's good. You can do whatever you want to do, Rick. As a young kid, I drew, and I wasn't really into model kits as far as like cars and those kind of things when the Aurora model kits came out of the monsters, the old Universal Classics. I remember vividly my dad actually coming home one day with the Frankenstein, which was the first in the series, Frankenstein monster model kit. Said, hey, look what I just found. It was like $1 or something, and it started my, I was already into monsters at the time. The thing I really collected were these monster magazines, Famous Monsters of Filmland, and that was where I was introduced to the names of makeup artists and some of the processes initially. So. But I started, my hobby was makeup. I started at 10, age 10, in that direction, and it's been what my passion's been ever since.